Hello, and welcome back to the Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose as we head to day 12 of the US Open. We are marching right along, and day 11, well, it had a couple of surprises, some twists and turns that many didn't predict. A few undoubtedly did, but a big thank you to you for tuning in as we look back at day 11 and head to day 12. Let's start with the women's singles on day 11, and it was Naomi Osaka that got things off to a flying start with a straight sets win over Karolina Muchova, as Osaka looks to continue to march on in that wonderful vein of form that she's had in recent times. So she booked herself a semi-final ticket and then sat back to watch to see who she would be playing, Amanda Anisimova or Iga Swiatek. And it is the American on home soil who got her revenge after that Wimbledon final drubbing, knocking out the number 2 seed to set up a semi-final with Osaka 6-4, 6-3, a huge win for Anisimova as she makes it through to the semi-finals here at the US Open. Certainly setting up a mouthwatering clash, which we'll pick apart in a little bit of time later in this show. On the men's side, Felix Auger-Aliassime got it done against Alex de Minaur. The Demons' serve fell apart. Neither player served overly well in this match, and it was probably the big talking point. De Minaur, 42% first serves in, absolutely undid him. And again, his inability to get to the last four at a Grand Slam continues. Another quarterfinal for the Demon, but a semi-final appearance now for FAA. The Canadian 25th seed will now have a big clash, and we knew that he would be playing against an Italian. It was a matter of which Italian he would be playing against that was the big question here. But for most, this one went exactly to script. 1-4-2 to Jannik Sinner, the world number one, which means that Jannik Sinner will play Felix Auger-Aliassime in the semi-finals. Lorenzo Musetti just couldn't stand up to his countryman. His countryman extends his dominant head-to-head record over him, and Sinner, he's the world number one, and he's certainly playing like it. He and Carlos Alcaraz are in great form. It's going to be up to now Novak Djokovic and Felix Auger-Aliassime to throw a spanner in the works and prevent them playing for a third straight Grand Slam final. They played at the French Open, an absolute thriller. Then Sinner won at Wimbledon. Can Sinner again advance through? Will Alcaraz advance through? We'll talk about this again tomorrow as we head into day 13. We'll be joined by Christian Monaghan from the First Serve to preview the men's semi-finals and look ahead to what is to come. I cannot wait. That's going to be really exciting. But in the meantime, we do have two women's semi-finals to talk about, and that's where the focus is going to turn to. A lot happening here at the US Open still. We've obviously got some other action happening around the US Open as we talk about it as well. We'll have the men's semi-finals in the doubles where we'll have the Brits, the 8 seeds, Neil Skupski and Joe Salisbury taking on India's Yuki Bambry. Sorry, I had a medal blank there. In New Zealand's Michael Venus, the 14th seed. And then we'll have the unseeded Americans, James Tracy and Robert Cash, the surprise stories, coming up against Argentina's Horacio Zeballos and Spain's Marcel Granollers, a proven doubles pairing. They're the two semi-finals. They'll be on Louis Armstrong tomorrow, so really looking forward to seeing how those shape up. In terms of other matches to look forward to, the women's doubles will line up with the men's singles, as it traditionally does. But we've got women's singles semi-finals to talk about, as I said, and the two of those will kick off with the earlier match on the night session being Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, coming up against the world number 4, Jessica Pegula, the 3-time Grand Slam winning champion Aryna Sabalenka. This is a rematch of the 2024 final, and it's a huge opportunity for Pegula, who has made that final but yet to break her Grand Slam duck, to try and push through. She's playing some of her best tennis so far, and certainly in American conditions. She's won 8 of her last 10 matches, and is certainly continuing to be really well performed on American soil. Unfortunately for her, though, when you have a look at some of those really good performances, including Miami, where she made the final back in March, she lost to Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, in that final, and Sabalenka's got a really strong record. She's won the last 3 matches between these two. You have to go back to the 2023 WTA finals to find a win for Pegula, where she did win 4 and 3, but she's only won 1 of their last 7 matches, and the last 5 of those have been on hard courts, including, as I said, in Miami earlier this year, and the US Open final last year, where Sabalenka won 7-5, 7-5. And she also beat her in the lead up to that at Cincinnati, 6-3, 7-5 last year. So 3 times they've played in finals, the last 3 clashes. So been big head-to-head clashes. Sabalenka's just been in imperious form when we have a look at it. Again, I'd love to find a narrative here. Pegula's going to need to absolutely lean into everything from the home crowd here to get the win done. And I don't know that she can do that. I don't know that she's quite got enough of a measure of Sabalenka, but it would be some narrative. Sabalenka is chasing a third straight US Open final appearance, remembering that she lost 2 years ago to Coco Gauff. But again, the power for Aryna Sabalenka is the key here. We know that Jessica Pegula can go hard and go strong, but can she go toe-to-toe, power for power, pound for pound against Aryna Sabalenka? I don't think she quite does. So I'm going to think that Aryna Sabalenka takes this one, and I actually think she'll get it done in straight sets. I think she's going to be far too strong for Pegula, but again, I've had a few well off the mark in recent days, so certainly not a write-off for Pegula, but I've got Aryna Sabalenka taking this one in straight sets. And the second semi-final, as I alluded to before, will be the 8th seed, Amanda Anisimova, against the 23rd seed, Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka, a 4-time Grand Slam winning champion. And Anisimova, wow, she's coming off that revenge against Iga Swiatek. She is a woman on a mission. Very little between these two when you have a look at in terms of the games and time played. They've both played 11 sets at this point. They've both played 100 games. They've both played the 5 matches, and there's only 15 minutes difference between the total time that they've clashed head-to-head in this tournament. So really looking forward to seeing how that matches up. It's an interesting clash. Both really strong records on hard courts this year, 18-7 for Amanda Anisimova, 21-6 for Naomi Osaka. The big question for Osaka is, does she fall down that rabbit hole where she can get rattled, as we know, coming up against the big Americans? But she's done it against Coco Gauff, so we know she can do it, and she powered on. But if this gets tight, if this gets tough, does she get tight when the crowd turns on her? That is the big question. We saw it in Canada against Victoria Mboko, and that's the big ace up Amanda Anisimova's sleeve. She's got to get gritty, she's got to get dirty, she's got to get down in the grind with Osaka. This is going to be a huge serving, huge hitting, massive match. I'm really looking forward to seeing the power of Osaka straight down the middle. She's just going to try and step forward, step in, and blast from the baseline and try and take down Anisimova. Anisimova's got to try and utilise her backhand power and absolutely blaze the corners, take down Osaka in that regard. Looking forward to seeing who can serve best and who can control the baseline. They're going to be the two big keys in this match. Really interesting matchup. 2 head-to-heads before, both at Grand Slams, the Australian Open and the French Open in 2022. A different Naomi Osaka at that point. We know that very much so. So, what can we see here? The resurgence of Naomi Osaka versus the red-hot form of Amanda Anisimova. She's been through to the final at Wimbledon. She's now got a chance to book a back-to-back Grand Slam final spot. Or will it be Naomi Osaka after a long time wait, returning to the final of a Grand Slam and maybe looking to claim a 5th Grand Slam? Or could we? Imagine the upsets. We could have a first-time Grand Slam winner if Pegula and Anisimova could go through into an All-American final. That would be a heart-warmer for the home fans. I'm going to go Osaka to win this one in 3. I just think that her bit of experience in these big matches is a little bit deeper. Anisimova, though, undoubtedly will have taken some resilience from her final at Wimbledon. It's going to be mouthwatering. It's a huge clash, both massive clashes. We've got 4 of the top 20, although Osaka will be up into the top sort of 13 or 14 in the world as of the live rankings when they drop on Monday. Even if she loses here, she could push as high as towards the top 10 if she can go deep. So looking forward to seeing where she finishes up. But there's a lot on the line here. We can't wait to see how it all plays out. Big matchups, big semi-finals, big-time tennis as we head into the semi-finals of the US Open. Looking forward to it. We've got the men's doubles, the women's singles. It's all going to happen tomorrow. But in the meantime, a big thank you for tuning in to the Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose again. We love having you on board. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell so you get notifications down below, and we look forward to talking to you again soon on one of our daily doses or our weekly episode that will have dropped into your feeds a little bit before this episode today. Until next time, big thanks for tuning in to your home of the black and white of all your sports. No grey opinions here.